Today, there are over 3.5 million children in the UK in poverty. Since 1983, the proportion of children in poverty has doubled, and it's still rising. In 2020, there are predicted to be over 4 million children growing up in poverty. That's enough to fill the Olympic Stadium 50 times over. We simply cannot stand back and watch this happen. More than 2/3 of children growing up in poverty are in families who work. The vast majority are doing their best, but because of low wages and high childcare costs, they find it hard to afford decent food, pay the rent, or pay their bills. They also miss out on the other things: school trips, going out with friends, sports, and family holidays. Poverty takes its toll on health, on education, on futures. The social and emotional consequences can be serious, and sometimes they lose something really precious: a hope and belief that things can get better.
I worry about how much money my mum and dad have. I feel bad about asking for stuff. I know they can't afford it.
Childhood poverty has many causes. Some of them are deep-rooted in society. Some of them are in communities, and some of them in families. We wish we could tackle every issue associated with poverty. There is so much to do. To be effective, we have to be focused. If we focus in on a few key issues, we can make a big difference. When families are struggling to get by, any extra expenses can break the budget. Birthdays, Christmas, buying school uniform, replacing household goods. This is especially the case now when benefits are being cut, wages are stagnating, prices are rising, and good jobs are scarce in many parts of the country. When the budget won't stretch any further, often families get into debt, and it doesn't come cheap. The poorest families pay the highest rates of interest. They can end up paying a big chunk of their monthly budget just on interest on debt. This traps families in a spiral of poverty that is hard to escape. It's incredibly stressful. Debt creates pressure on relationships, stress and mental health problems, and it harms children. We can help families avoid this poverty trap by helping them get the benefits they're entitled to, helping them to avoid high-cost lenders and finding alternatives, helping them to manage their money, helping them to build resilience to financial shocks, making sure families have access to types of credit that don't cost the earth, like a credit union, making sure they can access proper local welfare schemes, and making sure that employers pay a decent wage. Another focus for us within our poverty programme is childcare. Childcare matters as a route out of poverty. Imagine how many lives we can directly change if we help to remove the big barriers to work and ensure that the poorest children get quality childcare that helps them develop. We want to set an excellent example by expanding the amount of high-quality, affordable childcare we provide in those areas that need it the most. We also want to support the health and learning of children growing up in poverty. Too often, children from less well-off families fall behind in education and suffer worse health, often because they don't access the same level of services and support. We can help by working with schools and health services locally, and especially in the earliest years, we can support children to develop good speech and language, support health and nutrition, and encourage social development so they are ready to learn and thrive in school. So ask yourself, what could you do in your work to help families get the money they need to manage, to escape debt and avoid the poverty trap? What could you do to reach out to families desperately in need of decent and affordable childcare, or to support the health and learning of the poorest children?